Let's talk about Christian Clark.
Mm.
So Texas gets commitment on Friday. Here's my other big. Here's another Monday.
I got an overreaction too. I know you're gonna go first.
Christian Clark is the best commitment in this Texas recruiting class at this point. And by the time they get to 25, he may still be in the top 3 or 5. I don't think people have any idea just what Tashard Choice was able to get in this commitment. They land another more nationally high-profile guy on Saturday, and Jarrett Gibson, who's rated higher than Christian Clark. But for my money, Christian Clark is the best commitment Texas has right now. Forget about the rankings. They will eventually catch up. You mark my words, by the time we get to December, everybody will catch up with us on Christian Clark. I think he's got a chance to be a special running back at Texas. And I'll be surprised if at the very least he's not a really, really good running back.
I mean, I'll do an overreaction for you. Christian Clark, to me, he's got to be within the top. Not only he's, to me, one of the best running backs in the nation. I've got to see who's better. Like, and somebody's going to have to show me who's better than Christian Clark. And I've been watching a lot of film. I ain't seen it yet. Christian Clark is being slept on by way too many people. And I'm not saying Catch, because Catch and I had a conversation this morning about this, in private. And again, I was doing a lot of catch up on stuff. And for me, I don't get into like the day-to-day recruiting stuff because there's just too many names, too many things going on. I wait until the guy is getting about closer to commit or commits, and then I start going into, okay, let me go ahead and analyze this person. I'd rather analyze 25 than analyze 125. I don't have the brain width nor the memory to handle that. Christian Clark is the freaking truth. I mean, I'm talking about. I wrote in my notes as I started writing down. I said violent was the first word that I wrote down. Catch, and before I even said strong. I'm talking about a guy who's finishing, whether it's one hand, running through guys. He is an aggressive runner. That running style translates in college when you have to go against bigger guys. Like, he's already got that. You don't have to. He's not a guy who's going to rely so much on wiggle. He can do wiggle, and he's got wiggle. I thought his speed is explosive. I thought he had an amazing change of direction. I just thought his ability to just whack and go or go that way. I mean, I thought it was unreal, and his acceleration through that hole was sick. That dude is sick. Steve Sarkisian has got I'm talking about a badass running back. And again, I watched the film and everybody else Catch. Prove it to me that there's somebody out there better than Christian Clark. Now send it to me and I'll analyze it. Right now, Catch, that's the last thing I'll say is it's probably one of the most impressive running back films that I've seen in several years. Not ever. I'm gonna put it up there and I'm gonna get crazy. But in a few years, especially from a Texas commit standpoint, more so than anything else, I'm not, of course, Bijan, but it might be the best film I've seen since Bijan, to be quite honest with you.
So a couple of things. If he were in my rankings, I would have him somewhere between 6 and 10, which is really notable because this is a year where Texas might only sign one guy in the state top 10 from the state of Texas. It's a really strange year. I looked at the top 8 for every single kid ranked in the top 8 for every single recruiting service. And not a single school was projected to get more than one kid from the top 8, top 10. So in a year where the talent is spreading out, typically, that level of player, I think, is a major, major, major boon. I think the fact I didn't think Texas was going to get Christian Clark 2 months ago. was looking at Georgia. USC was after him. Texas just signed C.J. Baxter, and they looked like a lock to get Jarrett Gibson, and they ended up being a lock to get Jarrett Gibson. I just thought to myself, man, it's much more likely that kid will sign, stay home-ish from Arizona, go to USC. Why wouldn't you want to go play in that offense? Probably less competition than you'll find at Texas. So that Tashard Choice, identical. He's ranked, I think, 154 nationally by Rivals. On3 doesn't have him, I think, in their top 300. 24/7 doesn't have him in their top 300. ESPN doesn't have him ranked in their top 300. Like I said, the services are going to catch up. Because this is a point, Anwar, that if you don't play the camp circuit game, this is what happens to you. That kid goes to one camp, and he's a national top 50 prospect. He hasn't gone to any camps, and people have just kind of ignored him because he's not making it easy on them by going to them to work out. And because he lives in Arizona, ain't nobody trying to knock down the fences to find him. I think this is Tashard Choice getting C.J. Baxter is one thing. It's a hell of a recruitment, hell of a job, A+. But C.J. Baxter was known by everybody. To get Christian Clark, Tashard Choice had to really sort through and dig a little bit. He couldn't just go to Rivals or any of the national services and pull up a list of running backs and go, I guess I need to call this kid. He's way down the lists. So it's just a great job by Tashard Choice. And I'm with you. Of the running backs that Texas has signed post Bijan, so we're including certainly C.J. Baxter. I'm way more excited watching Christian Clark. First time I watched Christian Clark put on the video, like I had more adrenaline by the end of that video than I did with any other running back that Texas has recruited or landed. Like, I love the kid.
Yeah, and the thing is, Catch, this is the ultimate in the recruiting cliche of we trust our own evaluations, because when you talk about it, right? Yeah, it's not a guy who's highly ranked and a lot of other ranking services. So it'd be very easy to just say, let's just go for what other people are going for, and let's just go in that route. And they're like, no, we've seen the film, we know that this guy is the
That's
real
a coach
deal.
putting in the work is what that is.
And that is, Catch. I'm imagining a conversation, right? Where can you imagine this conversation, right, Catch? Where Coach Choice is coming into the meeting. He's like, all right, guys. So I want to talk to you guys about this guy named Christian Clark. All right, cool. Tell us all about Christian Clark. Where is he ranked? Well, he's not really ranked, too high in some of these publications. Okay, well, where is he out of? Well, Arizona. All right, Coach. What do you want to tell me? Anything else you want to tell us about him? Let me just put in the film, guys. And then when the film comes in, and then the jaws are dropping in the room, and then you go to now it becomes a bonus, right? Catch. Where is he ranked? Wait, he's not that ranked high. Where is he out of? Oh, hell yeah. Get on that guy. Make the phone call. Absolutely. Catch, that guy's a beast. I mean, that guy is an absolute freaking beast. And I don't want to do comparisons to anyone else in the class, but that guy, I'm talking about, Catch, there's certain guys you like you said, you watch the film and it don't take long. Like there's certain guys you watch the film, Catch, and you've got to kind of look for it. You got to say, well, I guess I can see this. And I guess you could talk yourself into this. I look at Christian Clark. By the time he gets on campus, and I say to myself, he's competing in year one. Like he's going to be in the mix. I believe that's how good he is. You say he'll be a very good college player. I definitely think he'll be a very good college player. I'll definitely be very productive. I don't want to put any numbers out there or stats like that, but he should be a guy, Catch. I'd be very surprised if he's not, a contributor in several, games here, playing meaningful games. Like, That guy's so freaking good.
Tashard
That's all I
Choice
can tell
is going to
you.
be a head coach in the next 5 years.
Who is?
Tashard Choice.
Yeah.
He recruits too well. And the thing is, he's got the rest of the package too, right? I mean, he's developing running backs. Even at Georgia Tech, he's producing Jahmyr Gibbs, who goes to Alabama after now. Jahmyr Gibbs was a national recruit, but he got him to Georgia Tech, developed him, had him blow up big enough that he goes to Alabama, has an All-American season-ish, gets drafted 12th by the Lions. Everybody remembers that Bijan got drafted 7th. Choice had 2 guys that he's worked with go in the top 12 of this past NFL draft at a time when no running backs ever go in the top 15.
Yeah.
And he just had 2 go. Now he's continuing it at Texas. He's an impressive guy. Guys that can recruit as well as he does, as long as they don't step on their you-know-what, as long as when schools do their background checks and they go, oh, okay, we might hire this guy and he's doing a keg stand at the county fair. We can't do that. And I've never heard anything bad about Tashard Choice, ever. That guy will be the head coach at Georgia Tech at some point. He will not have to wait 5 years to get his chance. So there's a hot take for you on a Monday.
But and can I say this? And I know when it's fair to compare coaches. The difference between him and Stan Drayton, as you might remember, Stan started off slow in recruiting before he eventually got some momentum. But the first couple of years, like you remember that Texas was missing out on guys, and then remember that signing day catch that they had where there was like 2 guys that they missed out on. I think one guy goes to Penn State and the other guy goes to Bama. It was just a bad meltdown. People were just mad, and it was bad for Stan at that moment. And eventually, he kind of gets into his stride and is able to really land.
He transforms Roshan. He makes that decision, and then he recruited Bijan, and then that changed the way Texas fans would forever remember Stan Drayton. But you're right. Tashard Choice showed up and was like, let's put some money on the table, folks. I'm ready to play some cards.
Yeah, day one.
And we talked about with Barry, about Barron being top 5 most indispensable players on the roster. You just give Tashard Choice whatever the hell you have to. He's going to be a head coach at some point. So you want to, Sark will embrace that, right? I mean, Sark's a guy that wants his coaches getting those opportunities. It's how you get more good coaches. But you can never let him leave to be just a running backs coach somewhere else with like another title for more money. He is, along with Flood, you just got to keep those guys.